Hello, welcome to Camping and Outdoor Stuff. I'm Snert. I'm out here at the British Superbikes in Alton Park, September, doing a few videos as well whilst there's no racing going on. We're going to have a look at today the Coleman Fyrestorm PCS. Not quite sure what PCS stands for, but we'll have a read about what it says in the box and all the facilities, and we'll unbox it and have a look at it. So, on the box itself, it says that it's 2,200 watts. It's got a pizza ignition. Versatile use because you can use it with the pot that connects on top of it and other pans as well. Boil time. Now there are a few different boil times on this box when I've been reading it. The 1 litre says less than 4 minutes 30 seconds at 0 meters per second wind. 1 litre less than 6 minutes 35 seconds at 3 meters per second wind speed. But elsewhere I've also read 1 litre at over 8 minutes at 6 meters per second wind. So you can see there that the wind makes a big difference as to how fast your 1 litre of water is going to boil. Also it depends on the temperature of the gas, it depends on the temperature of the water that you've got in, the ambient temperature. There's lots of things there. You know, I've boiled water in January -7 and I felt like I was going to run out of gas because it just never boiled. It just was never looking like it was going to boil. So, but I persisted and we eventually got sort of a warmish hot drink, if you like. So let's have a read of some of the other bits that are on the box. That's all in the weight of the actual cooker part itself is 258 grams, and the weight of the top part is 318 grams. Coleman UK is in Bristol. It's also got a mention of an address in France, and of course, like most things nowadays, it says it's made in China. Go on the other side of the box. 360-degree wind protection for great cooking performance under wind, able to boil 1 litre of water in 8 minutes 40, even at a bristle wind of 6 meters per second, it says here. Big 1.3 litre pot with sleeve and lid included. What it will do, if you look inside there, it shows like a little ghost of a cylinder. Coleman gas cartridge, the C100, the C250 or the C300, not included, can be stored inside the pot. Now I've got here, I think that's a C500, so that's not going to go inside it. Well, it's just for demonstration purposes. What else did it say on here? This little bit I don't entirely agree with. It says direct pressure butane propane mix. That's fine. This appliance must be used exclusively with Coleman cartridges C100, C250, C300 and C500. Butane and propane mix, to my knowledge, if anybody wants to disagree with me, is all the same. It's just a different coloured painted can. There are obviously different gas mixers around, but generally speaking, most of the things that you buy are a propane butane mix, and they're exactly the same as this. So this part about exclusively with Coleman cartridges is probably, frankly, it's a lot of rubbish. It's just obviously trying to get you to buy Coleman cartridges. Only use in a well ventilated area. Refer to the instructions for use. Do not use this product in caravans, cars, tents, huts, sheds or small enclosed areas. That's just particularly, you know, just a general health and safety thing about you don't want to gas yourself, carbon monoxide, you don't want to knock it over in a tent and set the thing on fire. You know, the usual things. Take care, do it outside if you can. If it's in the depth of winter and it is lashing it down and I can't get any cover, I have cooked with gas on indoors, but with the doors open and plenty of ventilation. You don't want to. We don't want anything to happen to anybody. So, right, okay. So, 2,200 watts. That's fairly powerful. Let's open the box and have a look what's inside here. I genuinely have not yet had this out of the box, so I bought it because it was on offer at Go Outdoors. So I decided to take the plunge and I bought one. So what have we got in here? A set of instructions, Fyrestorm PCS in multiple languages as always. There's probably about 2 pages that are relevant and 40 pages that aren't. So that's it in the box. It's quite a sizable pot. It's seems to be sort of front wrapped in some way. I think the lid is popped on over the top. Okay, there's the lid. That's probably why I was struggling. Quite noisy here because it is the British Superbikes this weekend. Get rid of this plastic rubbish. There's some polish down in here, and inside there is the cooker itself. More packing, polystyrene. So what we've got there now is the Coleman pot itself. I think that's 1.2 litres with a sort of neoprene thing around it and like a handle. I suppose in theory you could make yourself a big brew in there. That would be a big brew. And do that there. There is a lid that goes on there. That's the lid for it. We have a look in here. Not quite sure what that is without having a read of it, but it's made out of 100% cotton and it's just a square of black material. I'll have to look in the instructions for that. Right, been beaten here by a little tie wrap, so I shall be back shortly. I need to cut that tie wrap off here to unpack this last bit of the bit that connects to the burner. So bear with me a second. Okay, I've cut off the tie wrap that was holding that together on there, so that's the actual burner. That's that way around. Displays the feet out. There's another tie wrap around here as well, so I've been beaten by tie wraps today. It's a real awkward having to get off. There's that there. It's well packed. So this bits here. Right, I think I've finally done that. So that's obviously the the bit that where you turn on and off the gas. That's in the opposite. Let's try a C500 on there. This is my test bottle, which I don't normally use. It's just in the van for doing this sort of thing. It's been in use since April 2020, so it's been knocking around a while. That was in there, and that fits in there, like so. So what we'll do is I'll give that a burn on with some water, make myself a drink, and we'll see how it performs. Okay, so I've got my water. Just going to put in my beaker full for my brew. My Contigo thermal mug. Now, just as an aside, as a thermal mug point of view, this mug, you can walk away if you put the lid on it and go and do something else for 3/4 of an hour, and you come back and you still can't drink it. It's still too hot if you leave the top on. It's brilliant. It's brilliant for camping. It's got a rubber base. It's an excellent thermal mug, particularly in the winter. One thing you can't do with this, it does not fit in any vehicle cup holders. So don't bother trying it if you want to do it while you're driving to work type of thing with your morning coffee. You'll never do it in the month of Sundays. So I'm going to put it in there. That is an excellent thermal mug though. Some machinery going by now, you can probably hear that. So it does have the piezo igniter here, and I can see that functioning. So I'll turn on the gas. There it goes, lit. Put on the lid. Hear that roaring away. In principle, it's kind of a little bit like a jet boil, or the jet boil copies, like the MSR, Fire Maple, kind of jet boil, except the gas cylinder is separate rather than stood on the base. So it's making quite a noise though. It's quite ferocious. So I assume it boils pretty well. What I usually do when I'm making a brew is so you don't boil too much or waste stuff. It's hard trying to guess, just put stuff in the kettle. You know, you pour stuff in the kettle, you always end up doing too much. So what I do when I'm on my own is I pour the water that I want into the cup or mug that I want, pour that into whatever I'm boiling it on, whether it be a kettle or the jet boil or in this case the Coleman Fyrestorm PCS, and then I've not wasted any gas. I've only boiled the water I want. What I have said to you all in the past, that if you do guess in the kettle, what I would do is buy yourself a flask. Buy a half decent flask. You can get a lot of stainless steel ones now. They're not made of glass on the inside. Thermal properties are really good. If you boil too much water, chuck it in a flask. Therefore, you can use that water as a starting point to save yourself some gas the next time you want to brew. So don't waste the water, and don't waste your gas. If you're doing a barbecue, or put a kettle on, put the kettle on the barbecue when you finish cooking. It's free heat, it's giving off heat. Boil the water, put it in a couple of flasks. It'll save you a lot of money in gas in the long run. It's already starting to steam. See the steam coming out the top here. I'll just pop that lid off, I think, and have a look. That is now boiling. Turn that off. I'll be able to hear. And I can pick that out of there. It's still pretty hot, even though it's covered with a handle. Pour that over my tea bag. Made a hot brew fairly quickly there, so that didn't take too long at all. So I know I'm still sat in the inside of my shelter, and it's not particularly cold, but fairly efficient. Now, it says on the box that the C100, the 250 and the 300 will fit inside the actual container itself. Not sure about the 500, but it packs down pretty well. That wouldn't be too bad. That put that in my day sack with the right size cylinder. A couple of litres of water and some instant coffee or some tea bags, a drop of milk. Great day out for a brew. But also, I think that would lend itself, the pot there, for doing soup or noodles, as well as whatever you fancy. Not bad. That's the Coleman Fyrestorm PCS. Hope you enjoyed that video. I quite enjoyed making that myself. I'm going to enjoy the cup of tea now that it's made me. So thanks for watching. See you again soon.